Hey all, this is Chris with Orlando in the Moment, and today we are hitting the road and headed to Tarpon Springs, Florida. So Tarpon Springs is a city in central Florida's Gulf Coast, and it is also home to one of the largest populations of Greek and Greek Americans in the U.S. And it's also known to have the famous sponge docks. This is still an active working waterfront since the 1800s, and we'll talk more about the sponge docks later. The streets here are lined with restaurants that serve Greek food, shops that sell sponges, homemade soaps, and so much more. It is a nice way to spend an afternoon walking up and down the streets, going in and out of the shops. And on the right hand side, alongside of the water, there are all different ways that you can tour the area. So they have a lot of boat cruises, so that you can go out and explore the area as well. And I did see a trolley car, and so you could also check out the neighborhood that way. So there was plenty of parking along the street here. There's all these different lots. The prices did range, so make sure you're paying attention. I saw 3, I saw 5, and of course we ended up paying the 10. But there are plenty of spaces to park, so it's really not a problem. So just make sure you pick what's most comfortable for you and for your walking. Once you get out, you can walk right down the street and see this beautiful view. And you'll get to see all of the boats as well, filled with sponges. So there's a super cool story about the sponges. So did you know that the divers remove the sponges using special knives about an inch from the base of the sponge? This allows the sponge to regenerate fully, and this creates an economical and sustainable product. Actually, the way the sponge is cut actually increases future sponge output and helps them grow back larger and healthier. Even if you throw the sponge back into the ocean, it reattaches to the ocean floor and it will begin regeneration. That is so cool. So I will say too that I have never been so overwhelmed by sponge choices. When you're walking in and out of these stores, they are filled with all these different sponges. So the wool sponges are toxic free, biodegradable, and antibacterial, and they will last 5 to 7 years. The yellow sponges, they will last about 2 years. And the prices were pretty expensive, considering it was a sponge. They're about $15 to $35, but considering they last, I think that's a pretty good deal. And I love that they are antibacterial. So they do have special cleaning directions, and it says once a month you need to soak it for about 2 to 4 hours in a mix of baking soda and vinegar, and that'll clean them all. So you don't have to squeeze it, you don't have to put them in a dishwasher, you don't have to do anything. If you just do that once a month, that will keep your sponges nice and clean, and eventually they will just disintegrate. So as we were walking, there was a little visitor center there, and they did have public restrooms, so that was nice. And there's also a restaurant right along the water here, and people were sitting outside and having something to eat and a drink, and it really was just beautiful to just sit here. I tried to catch a manatee because there were signs saying that there were manatees in the area, but I didn't see anything. So as I mentioned before, there are a lot of choices for restaurants, but after doing some research, we decided to go to Hella's. I really liked this restaurant. I loved the atmosphere. There was open windows, so you got some fresh air and you got to see the people walking by, and it was really great. Gnocchi, and this is cheese that is set on fire. Whoop. Thank you. So you have to say "Opa" when you get this. This is cheese that they set on fire, and oh my gosh, it was just absolutely delicious. So it is served, the edges are super crispy, and it is ooey and gooey inside, and they do serve bread that you can eat it with. And oh, I had dropped a small piece of mine on the floor and I almost cried because I really didn't want to not eat it. I knew I had to, so I didn't eat it, but oh my gosh, look at that. So for my dinner, I ordered the chicken souvlaki, and it came with fries and it had tzatziki sauce in it. It was absolutely delicious. And we also got, oh, I have to show you the desserts, but we'll get there later. But we also got the combination platter, and that came with a gyro, moussaka, pasticcio, dolmades, and of course tzatziki sauce. And our favorite there was definitely the moussaka. So after you finish eating, you definitely have to go right next door into the bakery. These cases were filled with tons of different desserts in here, and one just looked better than the next. It was really hard to pick, but I went with authentic and I went with the baklava. Holy cow, I definitely recommend you trying this dessert. Everything else was great, but this was definitely a winner for me. So I know this video is about Tarpon Springs, but I just couldn't resist because on our way home we were passing Clearwater, and so I had to stop by because I just needed to put my feet in the sand and feel this beautiful water and listen to the sounds of those waves. As always, friends, if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and remember, always take time to live in the moment. I hope you enjoyed this video and our first road trip together, and I hope you have a great day.